Hi guys, today I want to talk to you about how focused awareness opens doors. And it's one thing to be aware of your surroundings, it's a whole nother thing to be focused with that awareness. That's what opens the doors. There's an old story, about the turn of the 20th century or so, or late 19th century, when they were still using telegraphs. And they didn't have the telephone yet, not everybody had one. And there was an ad in the local paper looking for someone to work in the telegraph area. We're just working with that, taking messages, receiving messages. So obviously you had to understand Morse code and so on. So there was about 8 or 9 young people sitting in the office, and this guy walks in and he asks about the job for the telegraph department, and they handed him a piece of paper and just fill this out. So he filled out the application, gave it back to them and said, have a seat. Okay, never said that, just someone will be out to see you. Just have a seat. And they had a seat. So they were all sitting there, and after only about 5 minutes with this guy there, and the others who had been there just from him asking how they're doing, they've been there 15, 20 minutes. He's there less than 5. And he gets up and he walks into the office. And the others are looking at each other like the nerve of that guy. So they're thinking, all right, so that's one less in competition for this job. And then about 15 minutes later, the person who put that ad in the paper comes out and he said, I'd like to thank you all for coming. The job has been filled. And they had to ask him. They said, but wait a second. This guy comes, he's only here a few minutes. We've been here 20, some of us 30 minutes. And he just gets up and he walks in, and you hire him? You got to explain yourself with that. That's not fair. He said, well, we hired you for the telegraph room, and one of the requirements was, the biggest requirement, you had to understand Morse code. And they said, so they thought they were going to get a test. And he said, well, while you were sitting here, that telegraph has been going off in the background that you heard. And what it was saying is, if you recognize this message, please walk right in. And they just sat there and didn't know it. So that speaks to awareness, focused awareness. Now, here are people, they thought they were focused because they came to get the job in the telegraph room. They understood from the newspaper that they had to understand Morse code. And then they were sitting there, and that thing was tapping out Morse code, the message, the whole time they were there. So what does that tell you? They didn't have focused awareness. They really lost focus. Some were reading the newspapers, some were just daydreaming, some might have been doodling, on a pad or something, but they had no idea that they were being invited to walk in and to get the job from the very first few minutes they were there. Only one person was focused enough, and he took advantage of it, and he walked through the open door. So life is a lot like that. If you're not focused in your awareness of your surroundings and the awareness of what's happening in current events, if you're not focused in your awareness, you will miss opportunity after opportunity. You won't even recognize it. Some people learn about current events based on other people. Keep in mind that what's coming from other people is going to be based on their perception. It's not your perception. Now, it's one thing to get that, but you should always get current events for yourself. You should always understand the surroundings, always understand the environment you're in, always understand the season you're in, because there's something to learn in every environment. And when you do that, your focused awareness will recognize opportunities when others didn't. And during the most trying times, year in and year out, all over the world, some of the greatest inventions, some of the most profitable companies, some of the most amazing breakthroughs in any discipline area that you can look at, any subject, usually happens when everyone else is wondering what's going on. They didn't recognize the signs of the times. They didn't recognize the need. They didn't recognize an opportunity. They didn't recognize what to do with the moment they were in. So I have to ask you that. Do you understand the season of life you're in? Do you understand what's going on as we speak? Here is into this third quarter, fourth quarter of 2021. Do you understand what's going on? What happened this summer? Now that we're in the fall, what's happening? Do you understand the changes? Do you feel the momentum? Do you discern change in the air? It's those people who go through life with a focused awareness who could sense the opportunities, and they'll get up and walk through the open door of opportunity while other people are still sitting around waiting for somebody to invite them in on something else to do. So I hope this helps you, because 2022 will be your greatest year yet if you go through life with a focused awareness.